Well, today many of you probably remember, or one you at least recognize. We're talking about Elizabeth Smart. She was one of the most followed child abduction cases in the early 2000s. She shared her story to a crowd of National Guard members and the public at Camp Robinson in North Little Rock this morning, and THV 11's Mercedes McKay shares her message.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people will always look at me and be like, that's the girl that was kidnapped. That's okay. That's okay. But it doesn't actually define you. The decisions that you make define who you are.
That's the message Elizabeth Smart wants other survivors to learn from the trauma she endured almost 20 years ago.
I was in the most innocent of situations that you could be in. I was at home, I was asleep, I was waking from my sleep, and it still happened to me. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's never your fault.
On June 5, 2002, Smart was taken from her bed in the middle of the night and held prisoner for 9 months. Only 14 years old at the time, Smart suffered starvation, sexual abuse, and assault daily. Sharing her story with a room full of Arkansas National Guard members on Friday morning, Smart said she constantly wondered, why did this happen to me?
It just felt surreal. I mean, it couldn't be real.
March 12, 2003 was the day it all changed, when police found her and she was finally able to go home. Wanting to just be the innocent teenager she was before, Smart says she swore she'd never write a book or speak about this time in her life.
It took me a long time to accept that I probably would never be able to go back, and that I needed to accept that my life was going to be different.
It wasn't until she spoke to other survivors that she realized her story needed to be told. Now, years later, she's written 2 books, started her own foundation, and worked with the Department of Justice to encourage people who have similar stories to understand there is hope.
I want them to know that they're special, and I want them to know that whatever happened to them cannot detract from their value as a human being, that they were born with value, they were born with worth, and that it doesn't matter what anybody else does to them. No one can take that away from them.
In North Little Rock, Mercedes McKay, THV 11 News.
Mercedes, thank you. Now, Smart's Foundation has a website with several resources about how to recognize signs of abuse, human trafficking, and the importance of talking about this stuff with your kids at an early age. Smart says she's already had some of those conversations with her 3 kids.